It is Sunday morning, and I didn't get a video released on my main channel this morning because it wasn't ready. I have the project finished, which is my desk, but it's not fully edited yet. And to be honest, I didn't want to rush it. Like, I finished the project, technically I finished it, I guess you could say, Tuesday afternoon. And then I really started editing the video on Wednesday. But then I got so far in and I just need to step back for a couple of days away from it. So I did a little bit of editing. The other thing is I didn't want to, like I wanted to try something different with the editing. I don't know if I'll be successful or not, but we'll see. So that's finished, and I'm going to get it ready for next weekend. But in the meantime, I did release a project this morning, not a project, but a video on my speaker and audio channel. And that's on testing various materials. That kind of thing seems to be big in everything these days. You know, it's especially invading woodworking. It's the kind of thing that gets into all technical subjects where, you know, you take things and you closely examine the differences between them, you know, the subtle nuance differences between things that really don't matter. That's what people focus on. That's what some people like to, you know, watch. So I thought that, well, I mean, given the channel, I mean, there's no other subject that's more rife with that kind of thing than audio. It goes one way or the other with audio, right? You go highly technical, or you swing completely the other side and say, oh no, it's all the ears, man. Don't bother with any of those measurements or anything. Just listen, that's all that counts, right? So I'm somewhere in the middle. I mean, it has to sound good, but there's a reason why it sounds good, and the measurements uncover that. So yeah. We'll talk about the thing a bit more later, having to do with the audience and all that. But while I was doing the desk, the camera that I normally use to film the close-ups and all that, I dropped it while it was charging onto the cord that plugs into the charger. It's not this one. The one that I'm talking about is actually filming me right now. And it broke the jack that's inside there that connects it. Well, it makes it so that you can charge it over USB and also connects it to the computer over USB. So, you know, I can't charge it and I can't connect it. So what I did was I took the other camera that I had on there and I put this one on there. And now I've got this one. I first tried this one as a replacement, but there's something deeply wrong with this one. This is the one that was broken, and then I dropped this at one point. And now it will not focus at all. So this is like an $1,800 battery charger now. I have a battery in here, and I plug it in over there into one of those USB adapters things, right? And I charge the battery to use in that camera. And then that camera doesn't have to record because it's going to the thing. Anyways, yeah, that's that. You know, I got two cameras that, you know, total almost, I don't know, $3,000. Down the drain, basically. Okay, so that's the, you know, that's the pitfalls of doing this here out in, you know, unclean environment. It really gets loaded down with dust, or it gets beat up in some way, or it just wears out because you're using it so much. Anyway, so I got the foam for my chairs, and this is a piece of it I cut off. I cut this off just to use as a headrest, actually. Just to test it, because, okay, when I bought the foam, there were several options for density. And I didn't want to buy the softest stuff because I don't like sitting in a chair and then sinking right out of sight in it, you know? And that's a lot of the chairs these days. It's almost like, I don't know, you disappear out of sight. And then they don't, that sounds like it might be comfortable, but then if you're sitting for, you know, longer than the normal amount of time, which I do, it gets uncomfortable. right? It seems like it's not comfortable. I like something a little bit more firm, but this foam may be a bit too firm. Okay, that's the reason why I cut a piece off to use the headrest. See, just to judge how firm. I really need to build the chairs, but then I'm kind of going back and forth on the design again. So I don't know, but I've got all the material now to build them. I've got all the white oak. I've got the foam. All right, I've got enough foam actually for a mattress, 4-inch thick mattress. And I've got the material, which is that pleather stuff, the red and the black. So we're set to go. We're good to go. I just need to make up my mind and refine the design, because I was thinking about different things, right? You know, like a big thing is if you're making these as a project, like it has to look cool enough to attract people to watch the video. Because if you get enough eyeballs on the video, it pays for the project, right? And you just don't know how well a project's going to do. But if it doesn't look cool, if it doesn't get the eyeballs on it, then it's not going to do anything. So that has me thinking about things. And I have the bandsaw coming up, the bandsaw build. And thinking about that, thinking about the monumental task I've got ahead of me to edit that single video for the desk build, which is still an unknown thing, whether that's going to do well or not. Once again, it depends upon how cool looking you can get the thumbnail to attract the people. And I'm thinking about the bandsaw, and I'm thinking back to when I built my table saw and how much fun I had when I was building my table saw. And I did that in a 4-part series. So I went back and I looked at those videos. I didn't watch the videos. I just seen, like, check them out and see how they're performing. And the first 2 actually have over 1 million views now. Now that doesn't, you know, that doesn't translate to huge success, but it's kind of encouraging, right? And then the final 2, I think the third one has like 500,000 views, and then the one after that has like almost 400,000 views. So it did fairly well overall. I think a single video from that wouldn't have gotten any more than, you know, 1.5 million, maybe 2 million views. So it's performing better, plus it was easier to do. Like, it's easier to edit those videos as you're doing it and get it out the door type thing, rather than saving up everything and then you're scrambling to figure out what this was and what that was, and trying to get it all packed into something that's a, you know, reasonable length. So I'm thinking about going back to that for the bandsaw build whenever I get around to doing that, which I'm hoping will happen in October. Okay? Hoping. Which would mean I'd have to push the chairs ahead, which I don't want to do because I need a chair from my basement. Anyway, so we'll talk about the, you know, the speaker thing here. I did that and I put that on my channel this morning. I've been putting a number of videos on there over the past month or so. And the idea there is to try to get more people that are actually interested in that topic to come into the channel. Because, okay, title of this one is Cultivating an Audience. Well, the original audience for that was interested in the stuff that I did on my main channel. Because basically I went over, I started that channel and did some, you know, just loosely made stuff there, right? Less formal and stuff like that. So it's an entirely different audience that's interested in speaker building. So the people that are on there now, all the subscribers that are on there now, that I appealed to, that I asked to unsubscribe, are still there because they didn't watch that video that I already made that appeal, and they haven't watched anything since because they're absolutely not interested in that topic. So the only way to overcome that is to slowly bring in an audience that is. And this is where an older channel that decides to change what it's doing is at a very distinct disadvantage. And then a newer channel is starting with that topic. Because the newer channel is starting with the topic, it's attracting that audience. That audience will be used to that content. Whereas the older channel the audience you already have is not interested, and if you change the format or anything, that is especially what they're not interested in, they notice any changes and it turns them off. So that's why why having an audience that's cultivated to the exact, almost exact topic and style and everything is so important, because everything goes smoother. They're interested in exactly that. They're expecting exactly that. So trying to overcome that on the channel, and we'll see how it goes. I'm going to keep with it because it's something that I'm deeply interested in. I always have been, and I find it fun to do. Not that I don't find the other stuff fun to do, like building chairs and desks and bandsaws and shop projects and all that. That's fun too, but I have a real passion for the other thing there. Like I have more enthusiasm for it.